Welcome to my studio, located in beautiful Alexander Valley, California. Together with my wife Melinda and our two dogs, Sandra and Clara, I've lived here for over 35 years. The dogs haven't lived here for 35 years, but we have. I mainly carve stone into abstract shapes. I also produce limited edition bronzes from 10 of my signature pieces. In my 40-year career, I've created over 1,000 sculptures in 211 different kinds of stone from 56 countries. Phew! Hey, let's park and take a tour.
Hey, T. Barney, we're here.
Hey, welcome. Go get them. Go welcome them. Those are our welcoming dogs. Very friendly and very pettable. Thank you so much for coming. One of the first things I like to do when you get here is actually give you a T. Barney patch.
Awesome.
So you can
Thank
wear
you.
this. And then I like to offer you some Alexander Valley wine. The sculpture and wine go together really well.
I love wine. I can't wait to taste this.
Here you go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh, your sculptures are incredible. What kind of stone is this?
This is actually Argentine onyx. And one of the things you get to do here is you get to touch the sculptures, but you also get to turn them. So you actually get 360 pieces in one. When you buy a painting, you only get one painting.
This is a beautiful stone.
Thank you. This is Chinese fluorite. And on this particular piece, I've actually left some of what we call the rind or the outside of the block. And what that does is show you what it looks like in the mountain, and you never know that there was this beautiful stone inside.
Your shapes are very intriguing. What is this?
Most of my shapes come from mathematics, and this piece is, we call a super ellipsoid. An ellipsoid is the mathematical equation for rounding over the corners of a square. And in this case, this is a super ellipsoid, which is the rounding of the corners of a cube. And this piece starts off as a cube, and hence why we call it a super ellipsoid.
Wow, I never knew math could be so much fun. Wait. Is that the famous T. Barney Mobius strip I see over here?
It is. This is Utah calcite. And what we're talking about with a Mobius strip or a Mobius edge, continuous edge, is that if you follow this edge around and go all the way around the piece, still following that edge, you'll come back to where you started. And most of my sculptures have that one edge.
Cool.
So something that is unique to me and my work, when I can, I'll make a base out of the same material as the sculpture. So this is a banded onyx from Argentina, and this base actually came right out of the center there. And this piece of Utah Picasso marble, in the effort to get that one edge out of a block, I don't always plan it beforehand. And in this particular case, I actually drilled 2 holes through it and discovered on one side that there was an owl-like shape, and the other side then became an alien. Something I've done sort of recently is I've took a 3D scan of a trefoil Mobius like this, and that scan actually allowed me to then print little wearable sculptures so that anybody could have a T. Barney. We even have clip-ons for the guys.
Pretty cool. Your sculptures are so intriguing. Could you tell us how you do that?
Well, you know what? I think instead of telling you how I do it, I should show you. We should head out to the studio. We'll get another glass of wine, and I will show you how to make beautiful sculptures out of stone. You know, before we get out to the studio, I should probably talk a little bit about my bronzes. I do bronzes directly from stone sculptures I've carved. And what I mean by that is I actually carved this shape originally in Colorado alabaster, and I wanted to do it in bronze, or replicate it in bronze. And so what I did was I actually made a mold of this, a two-piece mold on each side, and I took this side apart and this side apart, put that mold back together, and then poured wax into it. And then once I got a thickness of wax, I took the mold apart, and that's a wax positive that then is invested in refractory material that can withstand high heat. And that new casting mold goes into an oven, the wax melts out, and bronze is poured into the cavity. The other cool thing about my bronzes is that they have unique patinas. And so this is an example of some of my patinas. And a patina is actually not painted on the surface. It's an oxidation of a chemical reaction with the bronze itself. So it's a very delicate and ancient art. These are some of the, well, that's fine. This is just one other patina. Again, I carved this piece exactly this size in Italian alabaster, and then I had that scanned, 3D scanned, and what that did was allow me to enlarge it to this size. And this is the turquoise patina. So now you've gotten the explanation on the bronzes. We can probably go right to the studio. So now we're close to the studio, or in the studio, and you're looking through my forklift. And stone sculptors pretty much need forklifts or machinery to move stone around because it's very heavy. It's about 170 pounds a cubic foot. And stone sculpture is unique in that it's a subtractive art form. Almost all other art forms are additive. And what I mean by that is, for stone sculpture, you start with a solid block and you take away. And you can't do that with just your bare hands, so you need some tools. And one of the ways we do that is with diamond bladed saws like this one. And this is actually 16 inches. But what that does is allows me to cut that deep. But with this saw, I have to take all that material away. Well, I want to leave something on the original block. And so I can also use, what's really cool is this diamond tipped core drill, which allows me to reach in and take out a lot of material quickly and gently. It also allows me, if you look down here, to have base material. So if I can make a base out of the same material as the stone. The other way of getting material out from deep inside the stone is using this diamond chainsaw.
Whoa.
And what that allows me to do is to plunge deep inside the stone and cut out the sections that I don't want. See, and it's stone sculpture is basically about removing material that you don't want to be there and releasing the sculpture from inside the block. And here, why don't we show you a quick little video of what it's like to use a diamond chainsaw. So we just saw how I use a diamond chainsaw. Now I want to show you how we refine the form, continuing with smaller and smaller tools. This area is actually where I would use that diamond chainsaw, and also other tools, other diamond bladed tools with water. Keeps the dust down and takes material away pretty quickly. So why don't I show you how to use a hammer and a chisel, since
Cool.
that's what Michelangelo had to use. So this is he didn't use safety glasses, so we're going to put on some safety glasses. And this is a hammer and a pitching chisel. And we're just snapping pieces of stone off. Looks pretty easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like
Why
fun.
don't you try it?
Oh, I'd love to try it.
Put your safety glasses on.
Okay, I got them on.
Okay. Now grab that chisel. Other way. No, you got it in the right hand. Turn it around. There we go. Nicely done.
This is really, really heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy work. Stone is heavy, and so are the tools.
Wow.
Oh, you almost have it. All right, we're going to go get a glass of wine. I want you to finish this sculpture by the time we come back.
This is a lot of work. This is not an easy art.
It's a hard art. I mean, it's rock. It's hard. Okay, let me show you an easier way of doing that. This is one of my air hammers. And what it does is it saves my wrist and elbow. And what it also does is makes a lot of noise. Let's show a little video so you can see how it actually works. So this is how I get rid of 90 pounds of stone in 7 seconds. Now let's create a T-Barny sculpture in 2 minutes.
Barny, we're here.
Hey, you're still here. Oh yeah, I forgot about you. I'm sorry. So this is the main studio for carving and grinding and refining the sculptures. I'm there. What I was doing there was grinding out these chisel and rough cut marks, and then once I ground it and got a good shape going, I will then start sanding it. And if we look over here, this piece has actually been sanded down to one of the grits. Now it will go to finer and finer grit sandpaper or diamond abrasives. And what that does is it will bring out the color of this
Wow.
Brazilian sodalite. That's what happens when you polish a stone.
What's through that door back there?
The one with the warning on it?
Yeah.
Would you like to see?
Yes.
Well, welcome to the inner sanctum, or what I call the tool lockup.
Whoa, this is amazing.
So we have a variety of tools here because, as I've explained, is you can't sculpt stone with just your hands. You need to use power tools. And one of my favorite tools is actually this air grinder. And if you have a cavity in a tooth, I'm pretty sure I can get it all out with this. And we were talking about reaching inside a sculpture. This is one of my newest tools. This is a little diamond blade, and that allows me to reach deep inside a sculpture and take a little less off than the diamond chainsaw. Once we've refined a piece to a certain stage, that's when we start to use sandpaper. And we go from very, very coarse to very, very fine.
Wow.
This is actually 2,500 grit. Lots of different diamond blades that do different things.
What are these over here?
Oh, those are just different grinding bits that go on this different tools. Like this tool, for example, has a little diamond blade on it.
This is pretty amazing.
And then these are, over the 40 years of my career, these are some of the invites and posters that we've just kept here over the years.
Seeing your studio was amazing. But I wonder, you make stone carving look easy. It just can't be that easy.
You're right. It's not. It's rock. It's hard. You can't use your hands to carve it. You have to use tools. I think one of the reasons I actually do it is because when I take a rough block and release the form inside and the form comes out to be really beautiful, that is the rewarding part.
One last question. Why did you choose to become a sculptor?
That's a good question. It's been a long time. Let me see if I can remember. I think it was because I made really strange sandcastles on the beach growing up. And that actually, making those shapes in sand, transitioned to making shapes in stone. And since I don't have kids, these stone sculptures, or all my sculptures, are my children. And it allows me some immortality because after I'm gone, I still get to touch people when they touch my sculptures. Okay, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed the studio and the gallery tour. Hope you learned something today about sculpture. And we'll see you again sometime. I have a saying. Stone has a melody. I have a voice. We play and sing together. Thanks for coming.